Welcome to the What the Nuck podcast, the podcast for Canucks fans. I'm your host, Roddy, alongside my good friends and co-host, Pravy. And he's back! He's back! Gunbeer Bahia! Welcome back to the pod here, bud. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just great. It's been a fantastic year. Come back just because you called me. Daddy's like, hey, we're doing a pod at 5:30. I have so much to say. We'll get to it, but I'm happy to be back.
We love to hear that. We love to hear that. And the man that's always here, he doesn't miss a shift. Brabby, how you doing out there, buddy?
I'm doing great. It's like, it's like we have our kid for the weekend now. Like, we're a divorced couple, and like we just decided to put feelings aside and spend Christmas together right now. So
yeah. Christmas came early, not for the Vancouver Canucks. So let's get into it here, shall we? So the Canucks currently sit outside the playoff bar with a record of, this is disgusting, gentlemen, 20, 15, and 10. This is how the playoff picture is looking right now. So in third of the Pacific, Kings are 5 points up on us with 2 games in hand. The wild card 2 spot is being held by the Flames. They're 1 point up on us, and we have the same amount of games played. Blues are 2 points back of the Canucks, 48 points. We have 2 games in hand on them. And then Utah is 5 back from the Vancouver Canucks, same game played. So I don't think we have to worry about Utah. Blues are a little concerning. Flames got to cool down. We got to take out the Flames. And, I don't know if the Vancouver Canucks could even catch the Kings with the way they've been playing. It's been very inconsistent as of late. That being said, down the stretch, in my opinion, I still think Vancouver takes that wildcard 2 spot. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think? Gunveer, I'll have your thoughts first.
We're coming in at literally the worst time right now. That's the thing. We're that close to a wild card spot, and it is the worst of times. They've absolutely slid down. They're 3-5-2 in their last 10, I think. They have no effort. Like, the Edmonton game was good, but no consistent effort. And they've always had consistency problems, but it's been beyond awful. So that's the one thing that makes me think, we might make wild card, is because holy crap. I don't know when's the last time you guys did a pod, but you probably listed off the injuries. It's easier to name players that haven't been injured for more than 5 games at this point than players that have. And it's the top guys. Last year we played, I think, all the core 5 played more than 75 games. And now I think all of them are on pace to miss that. Mm-hmm. And it's just been awful. That's the one thing. We're at the wild card situation with everything going terrible. And obviously we'll get into the situation on the news these last couple of days. But as a team, we'll make the wild card, I would say. I'd bet on it more than bet against it. But from last year, this is just awful. We're looking to sneak in and maybe get trounced.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like right now. Pravy, your thoughts on the situation at hand?
I think what Gunny said sums it up perfectly. I was just looking at the schedule to see if there's any marquee games, and as of right now, I'm only seeing one more game against the Flames this year. I don't know if that's right, but that's pretty crucial. The fact that, because those are big 4-point games. So the fact we're only playing the Flames once more, maybe the Blues twice more, it's the schedule's only going to get harder, man. It's going to turn into the dog days, and it's going to turn into a time that, I don't know if the team can handle it. They seem pretty fragile right now, so I'm excited to see what happens, but at the same time, this team can also kick rocks.
Yeah, this team really is just going to have to meet pressure with pressure for the remaining half of the season here. I will say, I know their schedule is the toughest out of any other team for the latter half here. So, we're really going to see what this team is made out of. It'll be fascinating, honestly. There's so many storylines and so much drama, and, they come off Saturday night with a big win against the Oilers. They've only really had 2 solid performances in the past 2 weeks, that one and then the one against the Leafs where they shut them out 3-0. We don't have to really get into these games, but holy smokes, the efforts against the Winnipeg Jets, 6-1 loss, and then to follow it up at home against the Kings, 5-1, just completely unacceptable. We're healthy at this stage too. That shouldn't be happening.
The Kings was my rock bottom. I don't know why it was that game. The Winnipeg game you're mentioning, Connor gets a natty hattie. I just walked into the door, saw they had 3 goals, and walked right back out. So I didn't even finish the game. But the Kings one, I sat down, turned on the TV, 1-0 already. I'm already disappointed. 2-0. I get up to go eat dinner at that point before I can even get my food. 3-0. Just absolute slaughter. I don't know why that one just broke me. And it was like everything that's the problem. I think we haven't even touched on his Demko and his performance. Like I think Lankinen's put a big band-aid over that whole situation because he's been playing great. So we can't really blame goaltending on the season, which is always a nice cop-out.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also another problem on this team is just what are we going to do about Demko?
Yep.
I think at this point it's getting into, it'd be nice to see him bounce back. Like that's how people are seeing it. No one's really believing he will bounce back. It's only been a month, but
you got to give him time, in my opinion. But I agree. He hasn't been Vezina caliber Demko. It's been a struggle for him. And realistically, right now, the number one, the guy that wins games for the Vancouver Canucks is Lankinen, right? I would like to see Demko go on a bit of a run here because the games are every second day right now. Give Demko this run and see how he handles it. They got tough opponents this week as well, but we'll have to see where that goes.
We need to ride the hot hand. I don't think there's a time right now, especially if we do want to believe that we're going to go for it and make playoffs, which they shouldn't be swinging at the fences, trading our first or any sort of prospect even at this point.
No.
But if they're looking to, can we make playoffs or can we go on a run? You got to ride the hot hand at this point. We can't have. He's not costing us games. Well, he might. Like LA one, if you're letting in 3-on-3. And the defense is doing him no goddamn favors. But
no.
We got to ride the hot hand. Someone's got to be able to steal us a game because every single 2 points is going to matter from now till the season end.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're gonna go with Demko. I think Talkett said the other day it's time to get him some games here and get him up to speed. So
yeah,
as much as I'm a fan of Lankinen, this team's I think we said it last year too. This team could only go as far as Demko and Hughes can take them. But yeah, those efforts against the Kings, and the Jets one, it was to a point that when Connor scored that hat trick goal, I wasn't even upset, man. You just gotta laugh.
You're
at
just
that
numb,
point, right?
Yeah.
It's like I've seen this before, and I felt I've had this feeling for 7 years prior to last year. And then the Kings,
eternity.
Yeah, dude. And then the Kings game happens, and they rout us for 3 goals in the first again, and it's just I wasn't even upset. It was just this team, man. This team is just, it was so expected of them, and then honestly, I was expecting them to get pumped by Edmonton too. So I'm glad I was wrong about that, but I don't know. I think, Jardy, you and I were talking about it the other day, and about them making playoffs and stuff like that. I think that if they can go through this and make playoffs on their head pointing straight forward and know what they got to do, I think they're more dangerous than they were last year. But the problem is, I think this team just has to go through it, and I actually don't know if they can.
That's the problem. That is the huge elephant in the room. They have all the pieces right now. Obviously, the defense is weaker. But there's not really any excuses right now. Dakota Joshua is the only person that's injured on the main NHL roster. It's a hip, lower body injury. He's deemed week to week. That was from Alvin's conference earlier today. They have Roenick back. They have everybody back. Myers is suspended for 3 games here, so we're gonna have to probably get Brisebois back in or something.
I think it's
right?
Friedman. They called up Friedman today.
Yeah, actually, just quick tangent on Friedman. I don't understand why. He also doesn't get in sometimes because I'm he moves a puck and he's tough. That Talkett should love that. I know he's not a tree.
Yeah, I think he's 6 feet. He's a pretty small guy, yeah.
Well, that's not that small. Connor Garland's 5'7".
No, for Talkett's sake. That's a small.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a small guy.
How many times have you had the Brandstrom talk on the pod?
We haven't had the talk that much. But this guy likes Brandstrom like I do a little bit, right? Right, buddy?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We won't get into it because there's more important stuff to talk about. Me and Dridey had probably 1 week where we called each other daily. And I yelled at him that Brasser doesn't deserve to be in the lineup. And he yelled back. So we won't get into it, but that's pretty much where we sit on that topic. But the one thing is this team's got a lot of 7th defensemen. That's not something we're running into.
We got a 1, 2, maybe a 4, and then 7, 7, 7.
Who's the 4?
When he can play, and I know... fans might be a little upset at this take, actually, because I just know when he can play good. I think Soucy is a 4. He could be a 4.
I thought you were going to...
Myers is
I'd put Myers over Soucy, and I don't even like Myers.
Yeah, this season I think Myers is slotted himself there, but I do think Soucy can be there, too. I actually don't mind that. It's just, when you had the stability of Ian Cole last year and, getting Zadorov obviously afterwards, like that's just a little bit more comforting than seeing Noah Juleson, Derek Forbert, and Vinny Desharnais on the back end. I'm not going to lie.
The amount of times I've seen Noah Juleson just randomly just vip it in the defensive zone, like there's nobody around him and he'll just fall. It pisses me off. Also, I don't think I've seen Carson Soucy throw a hit all season. I don't know what that guy's problem is, but he needs to figure it out.
Yeah. He's had some good games. He's had some absolute stinkers as well. It's been a very trying season for him. But yeah, just to get back off on the topic of like what this team is right now, they're lacking their identity. The only guy that seems to have heart and soul night in and night out and like tries for this team is Quinn Hughes, our captain. He's even, not even just on the ice, but off the ice when it comes to like, protecting the players and like, just coming out for every post media scrum. It's always Hughes. And I get he's your captain, but we got to have some accountability on this team elsewhere. It can't just be Hughes and Tocchet coming in and night out taking bullets. Like, Miller's 31, 32, and I know he's going through something right now, so I can understand to an extent that he may not be able to speak to the media. He's getting into it with Farhan right now and just giving him like not good answers and stuff, which is fair because Farhan's questions sometimes he's trying to take jabs at him at times, right?
I don't think Farhan's given Miller like an actual proper question in like at least over a year.
Yeah. So, but I just want to say that
be fair,
we have guys like that are in their 30s, like Tyler Myers. We got Brock Besser. Like these two guys are big leaders in this group, and they have a voice in the locker room. Like get these guys out there for the post media and like help Hughes quiet it down. It should not just have to be Hughes. And even Alvin today, like I knew that presser was going to be just an absolute nothing burger, which it was. And every GM has to do like a little like halfway through the season, see how they're doing, press conference, whatever. But this management group, this whole team, they just seem to not understand how to let noise die. Like they let it ride, man. They love the noise. They can't seem to shut it out. Like, I'm sorry I'm talking so much here, but like, did you guys see the Brad Marchand Pasternak drama? And then Marchand came out and he just biffed it right there. I haven't heard a thing about it since.
Yeah,
because it probably wasn't true.
Maybe it wasn't true, but he came out and he just denied, and he like, I don't know, he called that like reporter like, not a credible source and just like kind of belittled them, which whatever. But like, like both Pettersson and both Miller have not done that. Like they've,
I think, okay, that's the closest I'll ever get to complimenting Boston. The difference between their locker room and at least what we heard about in ours, specifically these past 5 years, could have worlds apart.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they've had whatever they've had, like their culture with Bergeron. Like, we used to have that culture with the Sundins, and we used to say Horvat was the last one. But I don't know if we're getting into the Miller stuff, but yeah, like obviously the locker room problems that have been absolutely brought to the forefront during this stretch of shitty play is a lot. Like it's a lot of noise to just be like they can ignore it or say something for it.
I know
we don't get.
But it's gotten to that point though. That's why it was never nipped from the beginning, and now it's just
what
like
could they really
grown
say,
and grown
though?
and grown.
Well, it's like it starts with, hey, Miller's taking a leave of absence. Right?
Yeah.
I think that's the start of it. There's rumors and stuff like that of PD and Miller not like each other, but that starts at a leave of absence. And then I don't know if today, like it's obviously just so many rumors spiraling. But it was something that he got in a confrontation with someone, not physical, but there was some issues with Miller.
Yeah,
maybe Tocchet.
I think it might have been Tocchet.
Tocchet makes the most sense, but they haven't come out and said what it is or if it's even true.
Yeah.
But like, how can they really spin that? Do you think they should have straight up lied?
No, I'm not saying necessarily lied, but just you know when they're coming on to try to like damage control it. Like Alvin's on an intermission there with Dan Murphy on one of the games, and he's talking about how like this is going to make Miller a better person, this leave, and you know what I mean. He's answering a question, but he's giving you more breadcrumbs on the trail, and you're like, what the hell is going on here?
That one's pretty ridiculous. That one really made it like where people were kind of like, okay, he's on his leave of absence, leave him alone with it. Little bit of speculation there, but then when he said he comes back a better person, I remember that blew everyone up.
Yes.
Okay, that's a very odd thing to say.
It was 100%. Cryptic. It was so cryptic.
And that's it right there. Everything that the Vancouver Canucks have done, it's just like they're trying to cover their tracks, but they're not actually like shutting things down. Like again, I've said this before, but like it's not the same extent because you know where there's smoke, there's fire. Maybe these guys don't. Yeah, maybe they just don't get along. But at the end of the day, like when the Canucks were, Kessler and Mitchell were in the room, 9-game losing streak. There's talks about the team making some trades and stuff. They get in a scrum after a practice, and then Hockey Night in Canada the next night. There's all these rumors of Kessler and Mitchell. Do they hate each other? And they come out, hands around each other's shoulders, coming into the rink. That's all I'm saying. Like just little things like that to shut them up and like to give a jab back to the media in that regard.
To be fair, I feel like Pettersson, they've answered questions about the situation, whereas somebody asked Miller about it, and Miller's like, I don't have a problem with PD. I'll bring PD in here right now. We can do this interview together.
Yeah.
And like vice versa, they've asked Pettersson about it, and Pettersson's like just shook his head and he just walked off.
Yeah.
Like they've brought it up to him, and I feel like the guys have answered it for the most part, but it's the fact that like, as much as we say that like fucking the Canucks haven't done a good job doing damage control or putting out the fire or anything, how are you going to put out a fire when the media is just going to keep lighting fires? It's just going to happen. It's as much on the Canucks as it is on the media. Like, yeah,
for sure.
And we have a dog shit media.
We keep saying smoke and fire, but but the trade rumors coming out right now that Miller's they 6 weeks ago decided Miller needs to be traded or Pettersson needs to be traded.
It was before his leave of absence when they decided, right?
Before, 6 weeks, right?
Yeah, I think
that lines up with he would have had a confrontation 6 weeks ago. So then they put him on a leave of absence, decided, okay, one of them probably needs to be traded at that point. And PD, I think we can just discuss who should get traded there, but like, what's the media supposed to do at that point?
I know.
There is a fire, and we have no idea where it is. Like, they're the ones that leak this to us.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm just more so saying, like, just I feel like they could have all done a better job of directing the story a little bit differently. And I'm not even saying just lying, but just like coming out with a little bit more than just this cryptic stuff where fans are just speculating. And then Elliot Friedman on 32 Thoughts is like, well, it could happen, it might not happen, but it might, but I don't know, but it could. Like, I can't handle that stuff.
Dude,
it just drives me.
That stuff usually happens. So
I know, but it drives me nuts. Let's dive a little bit deeper into this. So JT Miller on the season right now, he has 8 goals, 23 assists, 31 points. The timeline we kind of briefly mentioned here, but basically I just put it down just to take some notes. He missed pretty much all of preseason, but the very last preseason game, takes a personal leave, misses 10 games. Like we said, Alvin says during one of the intermissions that JT is going to be a better person out of this. Comes back, struggles offensively and defensively. He's getting lower ice time, and games like the Kings game, games like the Winnipeg game, there's been some real stinkers out there where you look at him and he just looks like he doesn't want to be on the ice. Like, he just looks disengaged. Some of that obviously could be all the trade talks and stuff. I think mentally, I just don't think he's there right now. Maybe he needs another break. But then again, you get the Saturday night, he hard matches up against McDavid, 2 assists. He's an absolute stallion in that game, and he plays awesome. And that's the Miller that you can get. And all these stupid trade offers that teams have been lowballing us with. Let me just read these for a second. Came up with it was a potential trade with the Rangers. It fell through over the weekend before this Edmonton Oilers game. It was allegedly Lindgren, Cheadle, a conditional first, and future assets. And they were having trouble with the conditions on the first, I believe, and that's why it fell through.
Yeah.
If we got that, I would have been done, man. That is garbage. The fact that they can't even give up Laff or Schneider in a trade for Miller, that's stupid. And you look at all these goddamn teams that are asking on JT Miller, they're all Stanley Cup contending teams because they all know the player that he could be. We're going to get fleeced if we do anything like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the 2 teams that are trying, the ones that I've heard actually have genuine interest are Rangers, obviously, and they're probably competing with us for the biggest mess this season with everything that's going on. And then Nashville. Carolina as well, who just begs any team to give them any player that's available. No one ever trades with them.
Pennies on the dollar. I still can't believe what they got Jake Ensel for. That's ridiculous.
Can't even remember what the return was, so it probably was bad.
I think Michael Bunting was the main piece.
I don't think Michael Bunting, probably like a first was the main piece of Michael.
They didn't get a first.
They didn't get a first?
They didn't get a first. They got a bunch of dog shit prospects, dude.
That's crazy talk. Yeah, all right. Well, they're throwing us fucking Kotkaniemi in his fucking 10-year deal, so that's
And
pretty trash.
We're not grabbing that. We're
Yeah,
not
looking
doing
at
that.
honestly, you're probably looking at the biggest Rosclitch fan outside of Carolina, and yeah, that's a trash offer. Like,
No,
that's
obviously
the
there's
thing.
more involved there, but yeah, just insane. I would hang up the phone and laugh on both of those calls.
They're not hanging up the phone though. They just want it. Like, they're doers. Rutherford
Yeah.
at least is a doer.
Yeah.
He likes to like the best hope we have right now is because I think they should wait for off season if they're gonna actually this hell bent on trading him. Like, hope for the miracle and that they just start playing well again, or at least can, because they played well last year together.
Yeah.
Like, it was around this time that they put the Lotto line together. Actually, it was probably a month before this last year that they put the Lotto line together, and they absolutely went off. So, like, unless the relationship is like, like he like gave him a swirly and just like threw him out of the locker room or something, like something completely unrepairable. I think they at least wait till the off season. But once again, Rutherford's a doer. He's gonna get an Alvina by proxy of him being his mentor wherever their operations are. They're going to try to get something done now. And I think every single one of these rumors has just, I don't think there's a single fan that wants his trade to go through.
No, absolutely not. I was actually like physically ill today thinking about it. It was brutal, man. He's such a heart and soul guy, and like everybody just says, and like from what I've read is people are just saying the best version of the Canucks is with him, and I don't know. I hope he doesn't get traded during the season right now. The trade just is going to be awful. I don't care what's coming back this way, especially with what's being proposed and like us being lowballed and him not having as much value on the market. But if we miss the playoffs, we miss the playoffs. It is what it is, right? Like, I'd rather go for it with the guys we have now and miss the playoffs than trade JT Miller now, get absolutely spare parts for him, and then still miss the playoffs.
Yeah. Like, a lot of us are just thinking it would be nice to make playoffs at this point. I don't really think trading Miller right now is like, what is it? I just don't get what it does for us.
No.
It doesn't
Unless they have
do
something
anything.
like cooking. Unless they got something real, like some 3-team trade
Yeah.
cooking up an absolute storm. But everything that's leaked has told me, okay, we're not doing that. The fact that the only thing stopping the Rangers was the protection on the first. Unless that protection was like no protection because they're this year's first. I don't even know. I think they're definitely out of playoffs, but
Yeah, they're 3 points out last time I checked. I think with their loss yesterday, they were like 3 points out.
yeah, I can't imagine. Maybe it was top 5 versus top 10 was kind of the argument there. But I still wouldn't be happy with that trade.
Not at all. No, not at all. Like you guys are saying, the best version of the Canucks is with this Miller on our team. And I just, if we're gonna make a trade, do it in the off season. I kind of want to see what this team can do again, because we were one win away from going to the conference finals last year. I know it's a different team because of the defense and stuff, but this forward group, when it's clicking, is a dangerous forward group. I'd argue it's better. It's just been very streaky and inconsistent this year. Like, we haven't even talked about Pettersson yet, but like, I have some notes on him here. He has 1 assist in his last 5 games, albeit Miller also has 2 assists in his last 5, and it was the night against the Oilers. But these guys just have not been on this year. Yeah, the fact that Hughes has 50 points to the next guy, which is Garland and Miller, who have 31 points each, is just insane. Like,
Yeah.
I do want to say though, you did say I want to see what this core can do because we were, 1 game out last year from making the Western Finals.
yeah.
Like, how many more chances are we giving this core?
I think this season, more than anything. Though, if I'm being completely honest, if we keep playing like this, I'm team trade Besser and just keep Miller and trade him in the offseason.
I was going to
Okay.
say, so here's the thing. Vancouver's got, I can't remember how many weeks out till the trade deadline here, but we got the 4 Nations, and they're still, like Alvin said today, they're still evaluating Besser. It's like, you don't have a lot of time to evaluate if you want to keep him or not. They like the player, they want to keep the player, but the money has been off, or the term has been off. I don't know what's what, and I understand their concerns to an extent. Mind you, in my opinion, I think Besser was on a roll again, and he was continuing what he did last year when he started after the headshot from Janelle.
Yeah.
Like after that, he hasn't been the same player, right? Like he's had some good nights, where he's getting back into it, but yeah, both him and DeBrusque have been quite streaky. Like it just, again, and I know that's kind of what these players are, but Pedersen and Miller being the same, it's just hurting our offense.
Yeah.
So
and it's also the difference of him wanting to how much he exactly wants.
Oh, he had 11 points in 12 games, I think, before he got hit in the head.
Yeah.
Besser did, so I don't know. I think this team is I hate myself because there's a part of me that sees that we beat the Oilers, and I'm like, all right, like hopefully, like maybe they'll go on a streak, right? But
yeah,
you're playing Buffalo on the second half of back-to-back, and you're playing Edmonton with no McDavid. I expect this team to win the next 2 games, but I feel like they just won't win. Like they'll either go 1-1 or they'll go 0-2.
Yeah, it'd be nice. They have to start stringing wins together. Otherwise, they actually just straight up don't make playoffs at this stage. Like, all the difference between the Western wildcard race and the Eastern wildcard race is insane. The East, it's like everybody's in it,
Yeah.
And the West this is why I'm quite confident, unless they absolutely just stink it up like they have been for the next half here. I just don't see teams like the Blues or Utah getting in. I could see Calgary being a problem if they keep it going the way they have been, but it just seems like Vancouver should be getting that spot if that's where they end up. Maybe they go on a hot run and Kings falter a little bit. We get that third wild card or that third Pacific spot, but yeah, it's just been a very polar opposite year to last year. Last year we were first in the league, and bottles of champagne everywhere. Scott Road was going nuts,
Yeah.
It's very much not that season right now. Like even, the Dice and Ice thing over the weekend, and it comes out with a report that both Miller and Tocchet aren't there, and then all of a sudden it's just like there's more smoke. It was just, they're going through a bug right now, by the way. It's like a food poisoning thing, allegedly. But
apparently,
it's so ridiculous.
They actually, that got cleared up. So apparently a few of the media members, like Satyr Shah, and I think Dan Riccio, everybody was at the game on Thursday.
Yeah.
And apparently it was something with the catering that was going on. And apparently Sat just got his voice back today. So he had food poisoning as well.
Yeah. So exactly, right? Like valid reasons and stuff, but just to hear that and like see that as like someone reporting that Miller's not there for Dice and Ice, just like, come on, man, leave us alone.
The fact they asked every player, he has food poisoning. It's so funny. Our media is a lot of things, but they're relentless as well. So
yeah.
I don't think it was me. I don't think it was media. It was fans that were asking.
No, our fans
well,
are just
fans can go to the Dice and Ice, or some like radio-esque members.
Yeah, I think it's for season ticket holders, and like you can donate to the charity to like get in or something like that. But
yeah,
I don't know. I do have to say though, when one thing that makes me a little bit more, I was like a baby when I heard this. It was when Quinn Hughes said we're going to be just fine. That helped calm my nerves a little bit. I trust that man.
Dude, anything that guy said, he is such a good captain. What a great choice by management in that.
It sucks we only have him for like 2 more years, so whatever.
No. He's staying.
Yeah, rebirth.
Yeah, but yeah, that. It just goes back to what we're saying here, man. Like I just think, like I'm a little delusional. I'm a huge homer, but like this forward core is very much improved from last season, in my opinion. The defense has taken a hit, but I just think like if this team catches its stride, I really think we can do some things. We could do some damage in the playoffs if we get there. Yeah, I don't know.
On paper, I remember people were saying Vancouver's the deepest team in the league.
Yeah.
When you look at these guys on paper, but there's I wouldn't even say the guys haven't lived up to what was expected of them. The only guy I can think of that has, actually I'll say 2 guys. I'll say it's like Höglander and Heinen are the only 2 guys I can think of. Minus, I mean like in the bottom, like the depth part.
No, you're actually right. as much as I just ragged on the top six, the bottom six has been a void outside of Sherwood here and there.
It's been Sherwood and then nothing.
Hoglander for the last week though, like he.
Not even. You
What
got
do
an
you
extra
mean?
30 minutes?
No, I
so
agree.
tired of Hoglander.
For the last week, I will say he's been, and this isn't like a good for him. This is just like indicates how bad the team's been. I'd say he's been a top 3 player for the fucking last 3 games.
Yeah, it's so funny, man. Like, what? Guy goes scoreless for what seems like ages, and then he scores on the guy that's going to win the Vezina this year. Like,
Yeah, with
Nothing
a
goal.
That's the
he did
most-
snipe it.
that's the most Canuck thing ever, man. Like, that's just that's
That's the most
perfect.
Hoglander thing, man. Doing nothing, doing something when it just absolutely like does not matter.
But genuinely, I really like the battle. The one of Hoglander, sorry. I do agree, though. Heinen sometimes, man, I always forget he plays with us because I won't hear his name for like 3 games. And then it's like Heinen in the corner. I'm like, oh, yeah, he exists.
No.
Rebound, Heinen puts it home.
Why do you
He's there,
Why do you
baby.
hate Hoglander so much?
I just think he doesn't do anything. Like he scored 25 last year, and like this season has just been, it's just deking into nothing. Like a normal player gets the, puck in the corner, and then they'll maybe throw it up to the point. He'll deke and then throw it up to the point. That's the only difference. He's just throwing some deke in there, but he just hasn't had the results, and it's just been
The
absolutely
Deeks
upsetting.
have been working the last 3 games.
I
right?
agree.
The dekes have been working all year. He's looked absolutely nasty. It just has never
No,
resulted in anything.
I get what you mean.
It's been irking me, and like the thing is, we do need him for depth scoring, especially because the top guys don't score. So we kind of needed him to take a step this season, specifically when we want those value contracts and stuff like that. Honestly, even if he was doing well, team's still pretty cooked.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have been the difference maker, and he's definitely not the one to take the brunt of the blame here. I just haven't liked his game with the dekes into passing to the point or dekes into just a weak shot. But it's also like he shouldn't be expected to carry a line either, and he's now on the 4th line with I think Assassins and Heinen. Yeah, so
I'm okay with that. He did great against 4th line competition last year.
he had a great shift too. Like no,
Right.
that's fine. I just think like the first 40 games, man.
No, I
just kinda
100%.
pissed me off.
No, I agree. I
And
think
I was hoping that he would find that top 6 spot. I
Yeah.
really thought he would,
no,
be able to hang out with PD and DeBrusque. Obviously, they have their own problems.
Yeah, PD has been working on his, like, when he gets the 1T today, he
I
was
saw
working
that.
on faking the 1T and then moving in for a wrister.
At
So,
what point does
we'll
he just
see.
take the fucking 1T? Like,
It's got to be a perfect
He's
pass.
working-
It's got to be on a silver platter, and if it's like a half inch off, can't do it.
he's working on something that he's been like working on all year. I think I've seen him take 2 1Ts all fucking year.
Yeah.
That's where the whole, like, if we're going to talk better, so you might as well talk. Like, the injury's there. No questions asked. I don't even think it's a rumor. I don't even think it's 100% his tinnitus is still there. The, what do you call it? NHL Edge. They put that thing out. Everyone's shown the stats for it. The guy's
top speed.
top speed, his top shot. Like, I can't even remember the stat that our buddy Nathan gave us for his shot. Like, doesn't even shoot anything over 80. Like, maybe twice this whole season he's hit like anything. He's playing through some sort of injury, and then it just, like, Miller missing the whole preseason. Is he playing through something as well?
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, obviously, I don't know. Like, if you're playing in the NHL game, I assume you're healthy enough to play. This is the everyone does play through something, but Pettersson, it really affects. Like, I get it, too. It's his knee. So, like, if he's playing through that, it's going to affect your 1T. It's going to affect your speed, how you deke. Dude, it looks like he's, like, when he tries to deke, it's like the puck is just a little bit too far ahead. So he's got to, like, I don't know, he looks like Bambi out there sometimes. And it's just, that's that. And then, yeah, you got Miller some games where, like, when he's not on, like, he's just disengaged. And it's like, who would you rather? Like, obviously I want both on because when they're both on, this 1-2 punch of Pettersson Miller, when they can both play, that you're not going to get that in any of these trades. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I just don't want to trade him because I'm like, we're going to lose that depth of center right off the hop as soon as that trade goes through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our medical team is a bunch of butchers, man. I
feel like they've been like that for a decade.
yeah,
We got
the
Quinn
amount of,
Hughes with a splint on his hand. Like, when's his hand going to get severed here? Like, yeah, we just don't know.
like he's playing through that. Demko's playing through the most rare injury known to mankind. Pedersen's been playing through this for now a full year. Whatever they did to Mikheyev, whatever they did to Tanner Pearson, like
Mikheyev. What happened to Mikheyev?
where they made him play through a shoulder injury until like January, and then
No,
they sat him.
it was his knee.
It was his knee and then his shoulder.
Oh yeah, but the
right.
horse
His knee, yeah, the knee
horse
is
didn't
what
have the
butchered
speed.
him.
Yeah.
That
No,
was
his
what,
hockey IQ is what butchered him.
no, his shooting is what
He's got,
butchered him.
he's got like, he's got 8 goals this year, boys.
Yeah, but you put me on a
'cause
line
he's got
with
actual
Connor
line mates.
Bedard, like I could do that.
He was on the line with Pedersen. He couldn't do anything.
Yeah, that's just because Pedersen sucks too.
Yeah, honestly, fair enough. I don't know, like if they're playing through injury or not. Like the whole silver lining is the position we're currently in is like almost playoffs, and you literally almost can't have a worse half than you just had.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
It's
it was
tough to
just
go-
Hughes, Lankinen, and Sherwood. That was it.
They're gonna hear you
Garland,
say that and
too,
say
Garland,
hold my
too.
beer. They're gonna hear you say that and say hold my
Yeah.
Oh,
beer.
and Garland, yeah, he
Yeah,
deserves that as well.
Garland's got to be in there. That's the thing. I just want guys that are going to give effort night in and night out. Like if you're not giving effort, like that's
Miller was
where-
that last year, so definitely something's up.
Oh, for
mentally,
sure.
physically, something. But
Yeah.
Miller was right. Like he's always had that 1 year trade him next year.
He's good.
Franchise.
Yeah.
I've been flip-flopping on that guy for years. all right?
That's just the thing with him, man. Like I said, like that we got to get into this Oilers Canucks game here because I want to talk about everything that's kind of
There's only
transpired
talk
here.
about 1 minute of that game.
Yeah, I know. We only really, that's kind of what I'm getting to. But I just wanted to say again, like that game, he was matched up against McDavid, and he played it well. He got the 2 assists, like I said. He was 18 for 23 on faceoffs. Like, dude, he was a beast in this game. You know what I mean? And like when he plays to that potential, this team is a wagon, man. And for some reason, Vancouver just has the perfect guys to just chip away on McDavid until he frickin' loses it, man. Connor Garland at the very end of this game. It's winding
Look at the
down.
smile on this guy's face.
Buddy, I'm telling a story, okay? Connor Garland and McDavid get in a little wrestling match, right? And they're on the ice. McDavid looks like he's dry humping him. I'm pretty sure Garland is just holding on to his arm a little bit. Not much, right?
It's not
Garland's 5'8" on a good day, right? We got McDavid. I'm not saying he towers over him, but McDavid tries to yank his arm out. He finally does. He punches Garland in the back of the head. Everything's all good. Then he gets up. He looks at him. He cranks him in the face with his stick, right? Meanwhile, Myers also, albeit worse crotch check for sure. He fucking tanks Evan Bouchard in the head. That was 3 games for sure.
I don't think you could label that as worse.
I think you could, 100%.
I think you
okay,
could.
but I think
They were just chatting, man, and then the chaos draft went full chaos draft.
yeah. I respect it. I am not saying
Bouchard's a huge when
I
there's a
think a
scrum.
cross-check's
Just,
no, I
just
think
grab someone. Like
I
that's
think-
what he
yeah.
does.
Yeah, and he grabbed the wrong guy. But I think at the end of the
That's
day, a cross check's a cross check. Like they're both to the face. They're both like equally as bad.
No, I don't
This
think
is-
there's any argument that Myers was worse.
This is
No.
where I think Oilers fans are delusional here, though. Like, the reason they're getting 3 and 3 here is because, in my opinion, the Department of Player Safety, they missed the chicken wing elbow he does on the wild guy earlier in the
Yeah, don't
in the
forget
year.
that guy's a fucking goon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does some shit, dude. He gets the star treatment, and even in this game, I can't remember. He tripped Quinn Hughes. There was no call on that, and obviously
I'd
calls,
say Quinn Hughes more fell on that one though. I don't think it was that one.
Fair enough. But
It
then
was a high stick
he
Hughes 2 years ago and
spears.
tanked our season. So
Exactly. He also spears Philip Roenick in the. I don't know. That could have been accidental, but regardless, it's a high stick. I don't know if you saw that, but he spears him in the throat to the head. Should have been a call. No call. I'm fine with both these guys getting three games each here. What a trade off, eh? We played them
Yeah.
on Thursday. We don't have Myers. They don't got McDavid. Like that's pretty. Yeah, but also masterful work by Garland there. The rest were letting it go, and he just got under his skin. And then Draisaitl's talking to him like he wants to fight Garland. Draisaitl wouldn't fight Garland. Garland would eat him for supper, dude.
Okay, Draisaitl's got some wide shoulders, man.
I don't care. Garland's an absolute beast, dude.
No.
Don't underestimate him.
I think it's going to be an emotional game on.
Oh,
Thursday.
yeah, buddy. I think Garland's gonna have to drop the mitts.
I don't. For what? He literally.
Dude.
We're acting like he speared McDavid.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Like they're gonna.
clearly knew what he was doing there.
Yeah, but he was
he
mauling
hooks his legs.
Also, actually,
McDavid. It's smart. he gets his legs, and then McDavid, when he finally gets up, punches, and then McDavid gives him a little punch, fair enough, and then he like dies.
Dude, no. Garland will have to probably fight, or people are going to be
I don't
after
think he'll
him
have
for
to
sure.
fight.
I don't think
Someone's gonna fight.
No, because he didn't what he did was it's a penalty for sure, but it's nothing like malicious. Like he
I'm not
wasn't
saying it
trying
is.
to injure McDavid.
No, but it's just like, you know.
I think Edmonton has a bigger problem that their like captain got mauled by like a 5'8" guy. Like, if I was an
know.
Oilers fan,
Yes.
I'd be fucking embarrassed. That's like if Nathan Gerby came up to Quinn Hughes and just manhandled him.
Yeah,
It's just-
Gerby's no joke, bro. But
But
yeah,
he's like what, like 5'4"?
Yeah, he's
5'5"?
5'4".
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Like
Martin St. Louis.
but no, probably I agree. I'm just saying that, like, you know, Garland knew what he was doing. He took McDavid out of the play or whatever. It probably should have been called 100%, and then McDavid did something that he shouldn't have done 100%.
yeah, 100. Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying that because of all this and like the beef with them, I think they're gonna try to rile up Garland or try to fight someone or take a liberty on one of our players now because Garland was
Go ahead.
allegedly doing that.
We're gonna have Juleson out there probably. Like, the one benefit of having an average height of 9'3" is
Yeah.
those guys are gonna be running amok. Like
Pot-
Susie doesn't throw hits. At least he's 6'5".
We're gonna play our pot
Oh,
of
yeah.
Juleson card.
Dude.
Oh, Juleson's taking his 9th run. like go
And
for it if
then
you want. But
Jule-
I'm just saying, we got players that can do that.
All
now.
we're gonna hear
Oh,
is
yeah.
Juleson steps up, and Edmonton takes the lead by 9.
And then Juleson goes knee on knee. Like
yeah,
the guy's
Suter-
gonna get his piece.
Suter
Oh,
scores
yeah.
incredible goal to cut the lead from 9-1.
I'm okay with them going after Garland, especially because I could think Garland can take care of
Garland
himself.
loves that. Dude, Garland
He'll dodge it.
loves that.
Yeah,
He'll
He'll-
dodge
and-
it.
He's too low. He's honestly
I
he's too
know.
low to the ground. Like
Yeah.
he's the shiftiest player in the league. Like
He might
You're not getting
be,
him.
you know, he doesn't like score 50 or anything like that. But Garland might be one of outside of Hughes. He's my favorite Canuck to watch because of just the way he just uses different tactics to grab the puck sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
His spins, like, dude, he's actually just incredible. The beard, what a man.
yeah.
The man.
neck.
Yeah, the
the
neck
neck
guard.
the turtlenecks. Like
Yeah.
he's protecting that thing.
I don't see any reason for him to be public enemy number 1. I don't think like I like
You don't
the-
see a reason, probably. He took out McDavid.
Okay, yeah, maybe, but it shouldn't be to the extent that like Darnell Nurse should be doing what he is known to
Oh,
do.
he's going to do something stupid.
Yeah.
I could feel it.
I'm okay with it.
He always does it. All game he was doing it regardless.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's my problem. I'm pretty sure. I fucking hate the Oilers.
Get going.
No, I'm not gonna get going. But there's so
Fire me
many
up.
plays. Like you're mad about that, but there's a play behind Edmonton net where like Bouchard's like holding Pedersen.
Yes.
Right.
Perfect.
Nobody. No, Canucks fans are like, okay, like that's hockey. Literally, we see that happen all the time. Right. There's
Yeah.
another play where I think it might have been Garland who fell forward. Right. And the puck's like in the area and everybody's trying to dig for it, and then fucking Darnell Nurse comes in and like punches him in the back of the head and lays on top of him. It's like, bro, it happens. It's hockey. It is what it is, right? But the fact that it's McDavid, I think, is their biggest problem. They're actually, oh my god, I'm gonna start like cursing and shit at Oilers fans, but I just think that like if you're mad that your captain got like manhandled by a 5'8" player, and then you're calling him like they were calling like Garland like I'm not gonna say it, but you know the term for dwarf people. That's a terrible way to say it.
This guy trying to be politically correct is
Yeah.
crazy right now. Him just not
Anyways.
being able to.
Yeah, I just well, I'm not gonna say it, but like you know, and they were calling him. They're like, oh, this piece of, and then saying it, and it's just like, dude, you're
Shit?
captain. Yeah, and then
We're allowed to say that.
well, not that, but then they followed up with something else. But then it's like, bro, your captain literally got ragdolled by that guy. Like, what? That's
One thing I don't get is why are they blaming the refs? If the ref calls a penalty, the play still goes on.
yeah,
Yeah.
The same things happen. Your star player, your so-called stud of a player, needs to be able to beat Connor Garland. Like that's the way it is.
No, exactly. Dude, they had the puck throughout the whole thing. They're like, oh, they should have called it. It's like, even if they called it, you guys still have the puck.
Yeah, what are you, a one-man team? You're a two-man team. Pass it to the other guy. See if he
Yeah,
can do
yeah.
anything.
Here's
For
the
that
thing:
guy behind the net, he'll still find a way to score.
if that happens, if they put an arm up for it, I really like. We won't know, but like, I just wish Garland just kept doing it. Because what are they gonna do? Give you a fucking 4 at that point? There's 10 seconds left in the game. It's like the time. It's like the time that the Canucks got called for too many men, and Tyler Myers said, "Fuck it, I'll play 6-on-6."
Yeah.
Stay out there. Right. So at that point, you just keep going because what are they really going to do about it?
The reason, like, I get what you're saying, probably. I think part of it's because of the playoff series last year. I always just haven't liked this team, but it's just because of, years of, like, we would toy with them. The Sedins would just feed them their lunch every game we played against those guys, right? And now it's like they're obviously very good, and we're, like, kind of competitive, but, like, I would say they're a better team with the success rate they've had as of late, obviously.
I'd say up.
Just a smidge. Just a smidge. Hey, I'll give credit where credit's due. They have been the better team.
I'd say up until last year, they were feeding us our lunch after the Sedins retired and everything.
Yeah.
Like since McDavid came into the league, like they've been.
There weren't many teams that weren't feeding us our lunch. No, why we've been so upset.
Yeah. We're never hungry.
Lunch money's been taken. Like the next team, there's not much to give because it was taken the previous game.
Oh God. No, but I just think with the rivalry we have now, I respect McDavid and Draisaitl as like woohoo.
I'm just letting it ride.
Players, thank you. But when it gets to like treating the other players as players in the NHL as well, McDavid and him can just be so whiny sometimes, and they love to dive, man. They love to dive. It just drives me nuts. I hate that team. I hate them.
The Thursday game is going to be a lot of fun. I think it's just going to be. It's just
going to be chippy. I think just anything that happens is going to be. I think the refs will call a lot, and that's not good for us. I guess it's not good for them. Their power play's dead. What's Bouchard going to do? Who's he going to pass to?
I think that's one of those. Sorry, hold on. I think that's one of those games where like there's a league like memo sent beforehand, just with the history with the two teams and McDavid getting cross-checked in the face last year, and then McDavid laying a cross-check this year, and Myers laying a cross-check this year. It's like, hey, if any shenanigans happen, we're fucking throwing the book.
You didn't get the script, Brabby? Noah Julesen's going to be taking the face off. We're going.
Right away, just get it out. One thing I will say, the funniest part to me was when Myers did that, it kind of reminded me of Matty Beniers, where everyone was like, all of Seattle was like, why the hell would he do that? We're all like, dude, it's Tyler Myers. We don't know why he does it either. Like, there's been like Tyler Myers, like, yeah, it's his dirty, but like every Canucks player is like, yeah, we don't, like, 100%. It's pretty fair. He did it either.
Well, in his scrum today, Tyler Myers owned up to it. He said he allegedly wasn't trying to hit him. The stick like rode up and hit his face. He wasn't trying to hit his face, he said. Obviously, you're going to say that. But I just, he owned up to it and said it was a mistake. He didn't mean to do that. So
if you watch it from like the side, it did ride up, but at the end of the day, like his stick was too high to begin with.
Cross-check's a cross-check.
Like he cross-checked him like right here.
Yeah.
It's like Bouchard had his arms out and it like went up to his face.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's still too high. Like you shouldn't be cross-checking him there, bro.
No, 100%. And it's the same thing with
there at all.
It's the same thing with these Oilers fans, man, complaining about like the McDavid cross-check, how it wasn't much of a cross-check. Like you're still hitting his head.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know what more you want. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's after the whistle.
Throw a gloved punch.
Yeah.
Or fight. Drop the gloves.
That'd be a funny ass.
I saw a lot of justification. They're like, "What's McDavid supposed to do? He's 5'8". Of course he was gonna hit him in the head." It's like, all right. Myers is 6'7". Of course he's gonna hit Bouchard in the head.
Yeah.
And they're lucky. He could have decapitated Bouchard.
That's him not trying to.
Yeah. That's him sending you a fucking sneak preview for what you're gonna get from Noah Julesen on Thursday. Like,
also, he did absolutely elbow Marcus Johansson too. So don't pretend like that guy's not
exactly.
a good player.
He's had moments in the league where he could have got suspended and he hasn't. So to me, it makes sense that he's getting 3 here. I kind of want to get off this quick here, boys, because we scored 2 power play goals in this game, and the power play is let's just put it this way: it's usually dog shit. Quinn Hughes gets 2. And I love the movement, man. Did you guys see Miller's pass to Hughes for the snipe? The second goal? Like that was beautiful, and Quinn picked his spot. Like I really like the movement. Like they were actually pushing Edmonton's box in a little bit more. So then it created space for yeah, I see you smiling. Quinn it like made Quinn Hughes have more time and space to actually push up and aggressively like attack and take that shot. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like if they have more movement like that, we'll be way more successful. That being said, we got to figure out a way to get into the zone a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Like outside of this game, the power play has been brutal to watch. They had like a couple of games where they had two power plays, 4 minutes of time, no shots. Like, that's unacceptable.
Oh, yeah, that was the LA game. Oh, yeah, that was also the part that pissed me off.
Yeah.
Going back to that. 3-0, and you have 4 minutes of power play in the first 10 minutes is astonishing.
Yeah.
I think Vancouver needs to change the format. If you look at every other team, well, no, like for the the format of like the drop pass, I'm fucking sick of it. I know every team does it, but I don't like that Hughes is the one dropping it to somebody else when Hughes is the best player to skate the puck in. Like if you look at every other team, it's McDavid, it's Draisaitl who carry the puck in. If you look at like the Kings, it's Kempe and Kopitar, right? It's got to be Hughes. Teams use their best players to bring the puck in, and we're always using. I love Connor Garland. He's great. I don't want him carrying the puck in, right? Pettersson supposed to be one of our best players. What do you mean?
With that Garland
I
take.
was gonna say there are only two players on this team that can carry the puck in. It's Garland and it's Hughes.
But I want Hughes to do it. I don't want Garland doing it.
I agree.
Garland has to do it sometimes.
I also think the way they
he's got that Antoine Roussel in him. Like you dump it in, he's gonna get that puck.
The way they execute the drop pass, this is my main problem.
Yeah.
When you do the drop pass, or if you watch like old videos of like us when we do it, it would be Kessler getting the drop pass with a head of steam, and he'd be gunning for that blue line to attack, right? So it pushes the penalty killers back. What Vancouver does is they drop it. It takes 5 years for the guy to skate up to it, which is either Pettersson or whoever, and he's coming in so slow. The defenders don't even have to. All they have to do is defend Pettersson, because everyone else is flat-footed waiting for Pettersson to either pass it to the left or the right. And then all you have to do as a defenseman is go over to the guy that's flat-footed, and you just create that line. They're never going to be able to get in. There's no movement. It's completely stagnant. That's their main problem. They have to get speed from the drop pass, and I do agree. They do have to find other ways to get in. It's insane that we can't get in with one extra guy on the ice.
Yeah. That's what I think. I think we've seen those times that like we haven't broken. We've tried like 3 times. Puck hasn't made it in through the zone, and Quinn Hughes just does it himself.
Yeah,
like they need to do more of that. Like, I'd love to see like Pettersson dropping it off for Hughes rather than vice versa.
Yeah,
right. I think Hughes has the skating for it. He has the hockey IQ, and he's the best passer on the team.
Best edge work in the NHL right there.
So, I don't know. I think the power play they did great. But there's so many other problems I have with this team that I actually just don't even care. Oh my gosh.
No, 100%. Do you guys have anything else to add on the Vancouver Canucks? Should we debate anything else? Pettersson, Miller, Hughes, what Besser's dog's up to, anything like that? We did kind of talk about Besser. Like, are you guys both in the same camp of having him stay or leave?
It's on the back burner until the season. There's too much noise in the season to worry about Besser right now. Like you don't even know if you're trading like your second best.
You know how insane that is, by the way. Like that was probably going to be the main storyline this year of like, are they gonna like, what's the extension look like, kind of. But this drama has just clouded this team. Where like we're not even thinking about that yet, and it will be a talking point eventually here because they got to figure out if they should trade him, like Pravi was saying, or sign him. I'm a bit of I'm a Besser stan. I love my boy Brock, and I hope he does stay. Just off of moments he's had with this team, like he is a dominant. He's our best winger. Got 40 goals last year. I would argue he's better than DeBrusque.
But like our best winger.
I know.
We haven't had any wingers.
Yeah, no, that's
McKay's
true.
his competition.
I think
if
he wants to stay, he's got to take a pay cut.
Yeah, and I think he's been adamant on wanting to stay here. I don't know what that pay cut looks like, but I could see him taking a bit of a discount outside of the rumored 8x8. But yeah, I just hope he does. I think he's the longest tenure Canuck. He's been great here. I think he's also one of those guys. This is actually what I wanted to say about Besser. I think he's very similar to what Tanev was to this team. I think he's a bit of a glue guy in that room, and he's very well liked. And he's a good player for the coach. Yeah, he has a couple bad games here and there, but I just think if you take this guy away, I think that's not good for this team in the long run.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. I think like Carter Verhaeghe signed like about 29. I was looking it up. Signed for $7 million.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's younger.
In Florida.
Yeah, that's true. Honestly, just defer your salary. I don't know how it works.
Apparently that's fucking legal.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, who knows? I know Tavares is like fighting the Canadian government to not pay taxes. Who goddamn knows how this shit works? If honestly there's one thing I trust this team on, it's utilizing their cap. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it ends up going. But yeah, Besser's kind of on the back burner now. I think one sentence for that would be if he's if we're popping off, obviously keep him. If we're like keep him as our own rental if we're fighting for a spot, and then trade him if we're like more than 5-6 points out by the deadline.
Yeah, that's a fair take. If there's anything else you guys would like to mention, let me know here. Otherwise, I will tell you what the games are for the rest of the week.
Nope, go for it.
Sander.
Right. Well, tomorrow, Tuesday, they play against the Sabres at home. Then they go on the road to face the Oilers on Thursday. And then Saturday, they're back at home to have a rematch against the Washington Capitals, which... hell of a game that they played, the one that the Canucks lost in OT there, where Dubois played a bit of a villain.
Yeah,
that'll be exciting too. It's kind of like a couple mini rivalries there.
Yeah.
I think they got to just win them. There's not really much else to say.
Win the games. Win the games.
So what are we next 3 games? Obviously 3-0 is what we want. What do you realistically expect?
2-1.
The issue with this team, I can see them going 3-0 or 0-3, 1-2, 2-1. There's no like
that's
they
actually
might.
Facts, yeah. That
Like
is
the only
fair.
game that was guaranteed was the Toronto one, where we were like coming back from a back-to-back. It was like a back-to-back. We weren't flying out. Like you knew we were beating Toronto at that point, but everything else has just been like an absolute. You don't know what Canucks you're getting.
No, you don't.
Flip a coin, and most likely the coin's weighted towards shit, but they're not doing well.
Double-sided heads.
Oh, looks like we're playing like shit. You got 20 minutes of good hockey, and then we're fucking dumping.
Will they get over 20 shots every game? We'll see.
Oh, that's a no.
Is the did you say the game against Buffalo tomorrow is at home?
It's at home, 7:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
That's good. That's good to know.
Yeah, I got you, brother.
I actually thought it was in Buffalo.
No, I was actually. No, I didn't think that at all because I knew we played the Oilers, and I'm like, it would make no sense to go to Buffalo for one and then have to come back. But anyways.
If we beat the Oilers on Thursday, I'm ready for the we didn't have McDavid.
Oh,
we didn't have
beat the Oilers
McDavid.
Hey, you know what my Stanley Cup is this year? Beating the Oilers on Thursday.
See, that's what they want to hear, but don't say that.
I know.
Edit it out.
Yeah.
Honestly, if any Edmonton fan made it to 57 minutes, dude, you're a masochist.
Cut it out. But you could follow us on Instagram, X, and Blue Sky at What the Nuck Pod, and our YouTube channel and TikTok at What the Nuck. This has been the What the Nuck podcast with Drydy, Gunny, and Brabby. Have a great week, folks.